Hey, what's going on, everybody? Long time no see.
Long time no see, for real, for real.
It's the No Name Podcast, and this is season 2, episode 1. If you don't know where to find us, I don't know where you been at. We
Yeah,
still
yeah, catch
moving.
up.
Wake up, because we
Yes,
still out
sir.
here, man. As you
Man,
can see, we switched it up. We on a virtual aspect right now because we in 2 different locations, but that don't stop what we doing because we got a whole lot of going on around here.
we in
So
two
how you been
different
doing? How
time
you been doing,
disposed.
bro?
I'm good. I'm good. I've been chilling. It's been a little bit a little bit better, a little bit more adventurous. I
Nah, I
had a
feel
pop
you,
up.
bro. I'm not gonna lie. Being away from San Antonio, it's a it's a change for sure, bro. It's definitely a culture shock being here.
Hmm.
Definitely a culture shock. It's not a lot of people that look like me, and then those that kind of look like me, we don't really have a lot in common, you know. So it's very different. It's definitely an adjustment, um, to say the least. You know what I'm saying? But with the school aspect, it took me some time to try to get into a groove. I almost quit because, like, going from where I was seeing my boys every day, going and kicking it, it got really hard when all you got is just yourself. You in a whole new location. You trying to figure out the people that you're around, building new relationships, but also understanding that your last community that you were able to build, it's not going to be the same because the people aren't like, we don't have a lot in common.
Hmm.
You know, um,
How would you describe the people up there though, compared to down here?
okay. So if I had to do the comparison, because one of my classmates actually asked me that, Taylor, he asked me that. So if I had to compare it, right, I say this: San Antonio is far more friendlier, but I can also say that comparing La Crosse to San Antonio, you know, it's definitely San Antonio is segregated. You got your east side, you got your far west side, you got your
Yeah,
northwest. You know what I'm
driving through
saying?
the driving through the city, I kind of picked up on it.
Yeah, so that's systematic. That's been built since the city's existence. So that's
Hmm.
something that it will be hard to change, right? But this is a college town, so you got a lot of people coming in just to go to school, right? So I see a lot of young people, right? A lot of young Caucasians. Um, some are friendly. You get a lot of passive aggressiveness, though. A lot of passive aggressiveness that if you don't pay close attention to it, you get low key disrespected. And that was the first thing I picked up is if you don't speak up for yourself, it's easy to get ran over. Um, I
So
wasn't
like they're
used
like,
to a lot of outdoor things, like rope climbing and rock climbing and just outdoor adventure stuff. We don't do that as black people like that. You got some that's from like the country areas where they got exposed to that. I'm from the urban community. Like I never did any of that stuff. So like learning how to tie knots, this is a whole like I said. So comparing the people, they're more outdoorsy. They're more into um like a lot of like fishing, live music out on the park. You rarely see that in San Antonio unless it's like a actual like festival. This
Hmm.
goes on Thursday nights,
That
Sunday
sound like
nights.
that sound like Footloose.
Yeah, kind of like that. You feel me? So, but it's also comparing San Antonio, even outside of the people, right? San
Hmm.
Antonio has clubs. There's
Yeah.
not one club in La Crosse. Now they have a street that's known for having the most bars, but there's no clubs. They have a bar called the Library. That's like considered like the freshman bar. You feel me? I don't really go out unless I'm going to go get food. So like bars I can't really tell you about. So as far as getting a full glimpse of the city, I've been here, a little bit of time at this point. So, I've seen, you know, mostly my classmates and people in passing. But I do know though, you don't see a lot of um urban um communities even out here. Now I heard they're out here. I'm supposed to be going to the Boys and Girls Club next week to go meet up with some people that look like me and some people that could benefit from me being out here. And also
Hmm.
to give me some form of community because I went into a deep depression being out here, bro. I didn't even want to go outside. I was literally like just laying in the bed, just crying every day because I was like, well, why did I come out here? Then I was trying to figure out, like, I kept looking at the podcast equipment and I'm like, man, I need to get back on it. I need to get back on it. I would call you and we would attempt to do something, but my mind wasn't all the way there yet. But I'm gonna tell you what got me back because you don't even know this. And I know you don't. I know how you are about watching TV shows, so I don't expect you to know about this. But this is something that you can go back after we talk about this and go see what I'm talking about. But it's a particular show called P Valley or Pussy Valley. It depends on. It's P Valley the name of the show. You feel me? It
No, I
comes
heard
on.
about. I heard it's the.
You heard of
I
it?
heard about it. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. I haven't watched it, but I
I
heard of it.
know I
Yeah.
know how you are about TV shows, but so it's
Yeah.
it's based on a strip club or whatever, you know, but that's not the point that I'm getting at. It's a particular character on there, you know, his name Big Teak. Big Teak, he just came home from prison. You know, he got certain ways about him, and that don't even matter neither what his sexual orientation, and none of that matters.
Hmm.
But they always talk about how he be snapping out. He be snapping out, right? But the dude's going through a lot of trauma. He been going through a lot of trauma since a kid. You feel me? That he been holding on to. And, he ended up committing suicide at the end of that episode. You feel me? I've been where he been. I felt that way. I know how it feels to just feel like everything is just pushing on
Over
your
you.
brain, pushing on your heart, and you don't know where to turn, and you feel like everything is just it's over. You feel me? I had that feeling. But what kept me going, bro, is the reason why when I would call you and I would show you this stuff sitting around is because I had to remember like what I started. I can't give up on what I started. You know what I'm saying? I came out here for a purpose. So when I saw him take his life like that, it made me realize like this is where you at, but we not doing that. We gonna dig ourselves up out this hole and we're gonna fill it up. We're gonna fill it back up. We not getting in there. Nah.
Rebuild the foundation.
Yeah. So it took some time, you feel me? But I'm in a way better space. You feel me? I caught up with all my work. I had to advocate for myself and talk to my professor and let them know, like, look, it's hard being a black man in an all-white city. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that I'm the only black person here, but like I said, it's not nobody like me. You know what I'm saying? It's not I ran into dudes and try to have conversations. We're not the same. You feel me? And that don't make me better or them less than. I'm just saying that we're not the same. And experiences, culture, none of that. You feel me? So it's very it's very different, bro. It's very different. And then when you dealing with, you know, we as, you know, minority men or black men or African men, right?
Hmm.
We don't have control over what goes on in the world. We can't be racist. We can have prejudice in this. We can be prejudiced. We can show prejudiceness in how we speak, our nonverbals, right? But guess what? That doesn't change somebody being able to live. That doesn't change somebody being able to actually get a job. How if they get pulled over by the cops? Those things don't change it. Racism does. We don't have that power. And that's when you plan on an uneven playing field. And that gets scary because the moment that I say something, I could be George Floyd. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you got to really think about that. You got to know where you at. And these are certain things that, I had to think about. Well, I'm the first, right? It ain't easy for the first. It wasn't easy to be MLK. That's why they hated on him when he was alive. Still hating on him now. Nobody's perfect, but it's the message and the cause, right? They hated on Malcolm X, still, and then, but it was the cause and it was the message. The cause is to show other blacks from all over the world, but more specifically, the University of Texas at San Antonio, that if you are in the field of education and you want to work with kids with disabilities, you can come and get you a master's degree for free. For free. Let me say that again. For free, as long as you're willing to understand the message and the purpose. So I can't give up because I'm busting down the doors for those that can come behind me. And when I got that PhD and I start seeing how many people start to flood through this program, I'm gonna be very proud because I'm gonna know that I was the first. And I showed people that look like me that you can do it. The same way I did when I was in the honors college at UTSA. The same way when I was at UTSA and I was a McNair scholar. I showed them you can do it. And I mean, the same way when I became the vice president of Men of Honor, I showed dudes you can do it. So it's like, though it's been rough, bro, because I got so focused on being around you, Keon. Like the moment that when I started looking at the pod old episodes, just seeing like how we can come back and do it a little different, or like what worked. You feel me? Just looking at those things, I was real caught up in, like, man, you know how they say, you don't realize what you have until it's gone. You feel me? Like, so like I value you guys because I understood what you guys were just doing for my mental health, and also just my complete sanity of everyday life. You feel me? So it was a blessing to actually come here because it lets me know who my friends are. The people I really have in my corner. You know what I'm saying? Because I lost a lot along this way, man, on this journey. And I'm gonna tell you the same thing. Like, as you continue to go on and doing what you're doing, you're gonna lose people along the way. You're not gonna be able to, please everybody and give your time here and there. You're gonna lose people along the way, and you're gonna have to be accepting of that because you're gonna have to know that it's for a bigger purpose. Feel me? So it's a bigger purpose. Like, and it took me some time to understand that. Like, you're gonna lose people. It's gonna happen. There's nothing you can do about it. The only thing you can do is remember why you got on that path and stay on
Your
it.
will purpose is what's really gonna take you far.
But see, you know that because you deal with working out, and you have to have a sense of focus and drive. You understand? So I know you definitely understand that more than anybody. Something else since I've been here, right? Like, that happened. That was a real big deal, though. I will say this: on the campus, they're very like vocal when things happen within the world. Like when Roe versus Wade got overturned, right? We had a protest, a peaceful protest at the school, and people had chalk and was writing things like it's their bodies. The court has no right. I had wrote one that said abort the court. You know, they were out there naming like the certain politicians that voted, but were out there saying that they were for abortions. You feel me? And as somebody who has known women that has had to have them, you know, I'm not for trying to tell women what they should do with their bodies because I feel like at the end of the day, every situation is different. If you get raped, who
Yeah. Who's to
who
tell you
should
you
be able
can't?
to choose that you should have to look at something that was a traumatic event for you every day? Who has the right that maybe you know let's not even just use the rape thing. Let's just say you were irresponsible and you made a mistake because you wasn't I was never educated on how to have sex. I was never educated. I had to go and learn these things on my own. So if you're not being educated, you're going to make mistakes. And even someone who is educated, professionals make mistakes. So when you think about that, it's like, how dare you? Women are the most unrecognized and unvalued beings on this planet. But they are the most valuable. We can't even create. We only have half. We don't carry the children. We only give the sperm. And our job is done. That's it. They have to deal with the emotion, the changes to their body before and after they have it. These women have to get surgeries because the baby was so big it tore them, or the baby's so big that they have to get cut as a C-section simply because they don't feel like, oh, I don't want to stretch out my vagina. Man, we don't know what that feels like. We don't even understand that. So how can we make a choice or say what should happen if we never been in a situation? And if you somebody that has money, you can kill or create life whenever you want because you have the money to do it. But when you somebody that's broke,
You ain't got a choice like that.
you don't have the same
So
choice.
yeah. When we have people over here trying to tell you what to do and dictate what you do when you ain't got the money to do the means in the first place, it's like you already have extra burden on you.
You feel me? So it's like just thinking about that, man. It really like hurts my soul to see how this country makes decisions, bro. I That really hurts my soul, bro, because it's like, what's next? You got this thing even with Young Thug and them when they trying to use their lyrics against them, right?
Yeah.
I make
But
music.
funny thing is, I remember I forgot which court it was, but they did said that they're gonna stop trying to do that. But even when they
Well,
did
in
this, they still.
New York City,
Mhm.
they was able to get that pass in the state, New York State, right? But it's not a
Oh, okay.
federal thing. And it's
Yeah.
like when you think about that, hip hop or rap music, whatever one you want to call it, right? It's in the ghetto. They don't respect the guy that's getting it already. Because the first thing they're gonna say is, "Where have you got it? Why you rapping?" Right? So quite naturally, it's gonna be somebody that's struggling.
That has to fight for their life or fight for
Exactly.
whatever
So that means they
whatever
either gonna
means
talk about something that they was doing or something they
something out there.
seen. And that means 9 times out of 10, guess what? They probably incriminating themselves.
Or incriminating people around them, um,
Exactly, bro.
without even trying to have that as the actual, purpose of it all.
So it's like when you think about just things like that, bro, you know, it puts me in a place of worry, man, because I don't know what this country is turning into. And, you know, every day it's something new. It's something new. And I just be like, well, maybe, you know, somebody's gonna, say something and the people are finally stand up and we gonna actually do something together because we divided as the people. We
Right.
divided, and that's why so much can happen to us. Because when you
Y'all,
look at these other countries, when they don't like what's going on, it's a
they stand
revolution.
together. Now, I was really thinking about it. When it comes down to people of color, not even just in America, but even worldwide, there's a lot of division between like the communities and different like ethnic groups or subsections of people of color, and it's like it's crazy because whenever you see certain things, like whenever they did, I forgot what country it was, they changed the law. Everyone went to the streets immediately. They didn't hesitate. It was like, no, we're not going to stand for this. They tore everything down. They said, y'all gonna have to change this right back. They changed it back within the
That's a
week. They
fact.
said, no, we're not gonna let them just destroy our country because they're like, because at the end of the day, we are the country. There is no country without us. If we really want to do something, we can just stand up, fight for it, like how we was doing during the quarantine. But that didn't
Yeah,
last, sadly. That only
but do you understand why that was so? And let me tell you something. Another thing about that show P Valley that's very powerful.
mhm,
They are really shedding light on how the pandemic really affected people, affected them from losing jobs, all right? From people making choices that they would never make morally simply because they don't have money. You got places shutting down. You got people dying. But like how you just spoke about the uprising, you know why them uprisings happen? Because everybody was sitting at home looking at their
their
screen.
backs against the wall.
Nobody had nothing but time. See, now everybody's out and about. They doing things again. Nobody cares like that.
People
Nobody
aren't willing to
cares like that.
sacrifice.
You feel me? So
But that's what has me thinking. Like, and back in the day, whenever they were going like the marches, like people were walking, literally walking state to state to state on their only 2 feet because they didn't have no transportation. They couldn't take public transportation and stuff like that. And people were literally going to strangers' houses and sleeping there because that was the only way they could do.
Yeah,
Like that shocks me because like now if people were to try to do that now, it would be like, what are you trying to do? You're not gonna sit in my house and do this and that. Like it's no longer that type of, oh yeah, we moved together. It's everybody get it for themselves. And that kind of is scary because if we go like that, then they're gonna be able to keep Dave to like, step on us and take away rights from us.
that's a fact, bro. I really I think as I start to get further in education and get a little more um well rounded in a state where I can actually call it my home,
Mhm.
I'm probably gonna get in some form of policy, whether that might be city council, school board, some of that nature where I can actually deal with some type of policy to start making some form of change. Because you got to start somewhere small, you feel me? But it's just what are you going to do? That's where I'm at now. What are you going to do? And I feel like I could do something. It's a lot of great men that I know could do something. It's just about who's going to step up, and I really feel like I should start to make the necessary steps to put myself into politics. I just need it's all about cleaning up your background. That's what I'm doing now. Cleaning up my background so I can be ready. But I really think that that's the move. But I one of the things that I wanted to touch on so the viewers can understand is like you know the way we were doing the podcast in the beginning is definitely you're gonna see us come together sometimes, but we're gonna be bringing people on virtually. You know, it'll still go on to the YouTube channel as well as all the streaming platforms. Make sure if you haven't already, this is very important. Don't just watch the video, subscribe and like it because we're trying to get a bigger audience. And the only way we can get in the algorithms is by people liking, sharing, and subscribing to the page. So you got to make sure that, you watching the content, two, share the content, comment on the content, and like the content. It's very important. And then when you go to, if you got Spotify, go on Spotify. Follow the page. If also podcast app, we're on the podcast app. Go leave a review. It's so much you can do to help the podcast grow. The only way we're gonna be able to build is by having real people that's gonna support the growth. I don't expect everybody to stand up and be with us because I know we got haters, but that's why we're gonna make sure we don't stop because that's what's gonna make the haters upset and we're gonna be motivated. Know that.
Haters to appreciate it.
Yeah. So it's like at the end of the day, we we're gonna be coming back more often. Just stay, stay along for the ride. Like, but once again, this is the No Name Podcast. This your boy Wisdom Devine.
It's your boy Tomi.
And listen, you already know the links is gonna be in the description box of how to find Tomi. And I already been adding little things in the description box. I'm getting better with this, you know, week by week, learning to edit and add little certain things. So make sure you check the description box. You'll see little certain things in there that's changing. But look, we out of here. We gone.
Y'all be safe, please.